Black and White Spaces promotes unity, understanding, and collective sharing for marginalized Black intersections that are rarely, if ever, told. We're dedicated to expanding the Black narrative through education, elevation, liberation, and celebration for all Black people. Hey y'all, it's Jakaya, and thank you so much for listening to the Black and White Spaces podcast. Welcome back to Black and White Spaces. On today's episode, I have Jasmine McKenzie. She is a licensed stylist and master wig maker. She is a full-time entrepreneur with 3 years under her belt, and she also has 2 degrees in social work, which we'll talk about a little bit later. So you practiced social work from 2013 to 2017. You've always been involved in hair care since 7th grade.
Yes.
You're a Memphis native, currently in Murfreesboro.
Yes.
That is so awesome. Thank you so much, Jasmine, for being here today.
No problem. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely, absolutely. So I just want to start off by asking you, like I always ask, what are some of your identity markers?
So I identify myself, obviously, as a Black female. I am a Christian. I am more so on the spiritual side, which I believe a lot of millennials these days are more spiritual than they are hardcore religious. Mm-hmm. I identify myself as a heterosexual female, and I am really heavy in my spirituality.
That's awesome. That's so
Thank
awesome. You. I do agree. I think that a lot of millennials are more on the spiritual side than identifying with a particular religion or identifying themselves as religious.
Right.
That's awesome. So tell us a little bit more about your degrees in social work.
Okay. So I attended the University of Tennessee in Knoxville. Just growing up in a low-income family, my mom passed when I was 5, so I've always had some type of social service encounter in my life. So when I attended college, of course, going in, I didn't know what I wanted to do, changed my major so many different times, and then I settled, well, let me not say settled, I chose social work.
Right.
Just because of my own personal experiences. So I did get both of my degrees from the University of Tennessee, and I started working in the field in 2013. My first job was doing in-home counseling. My second job was working at the Boys and Girls Club, and then I moved to Houston, and I started working for a healthcare agency. So I worked in 3 different settings, and it wasn't that I didn't enjoy social work. It was more so hair has always been a part of my life. I feel like in every job that I had in social work and even college, I was always doing hair on the side. Right. So when I was in Houston, the transition from social work to hair came about. I was in like a little cubicle area in my office. And I kid you not, I used to go to work every day and I would like cry, I would sleep. It just wasn't challenging enough for me. I knew exactly what I was going to have to do every single day. And so I started just praying. I was like, well, Lord, this is not what I want to do. I want to do hair full time. And let me also throw in there, I was working from 8 to 6. And if you've ever been to Houston, traffic is awful. And so it would take me like an hour to get home, and I was still trying to maintain social life, fitness, and do hair. And so it just became very overwhelming. So I prayed about it, and I submitted my 2 weeks notice, and I quit. So I walked away, literally stepped out on faith and walked away from a consistent salary job. I should add that.
That's a lot of faith. That's a lot of faith to have. But when you know, you just know.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
I definitely will agree with you. When you know that you have a bigger purpose to feel and you have dreams and God has put these visions inside of you, you can't kind of be slow moving about it. And I think for me, I felt God saying, do you trust me enough to walk away from this security blanket and, you know, just trust me enough to provide for you?
Yeah.
And so I just did it. I don't regret the decision at all.
That's amazing.
Thank you.
And I know that you're glad that you made it. Like,
Yes.
business.
Some days I have some, you know, back thoughts like what could have been, but at least 99% of the time, I'm very glad that my decision was what it was.
Yeah, that's awesome. And you've been in entrepreneurship now for 3 years.
Yes.
So what has that looked like?
Woo! It's been a roller coaster. It's been highs and lows. I mean, starting out as an entrepreneur, I didn't know anything about entrepreneurship. I mean, granted, I've always been in the hair world since 7th grade, so I've always been braiding. I've worked in a salon at an early age. Back then, I didn't know that was entrepreneurship.
Right.
Once I started working for myself, everything just kind of became surreal to me. I've been learning and experiencing as I go. Every time I run into a wall, I'm learning, I'm changing in business, but it's been highs and lows. And I think in entrepreneurship, what has kept me going the most is my faith. You know, knowing that God has gave me a vision. I haven't arrived there. That vision has not manifested itself. And so in order to see it, I have to keep going.
Yeah.
But my 3 years have been, I would say, more down than up. And only because I haven't had examples of what a successful entrepreneur in my family looks like. So I'm learning.
Yeah.
And as I'm learning, I'm trying to make sure that I'm setting examples for other people in my family who want to step away from a traditional 9 to 5.
Yeah.
But it's been enjoyable. It is worthwhile. It's I don't know, it's so many, I can't really describe it, but I always tell people entrepreneurship is hard. It's not glitz and glamour, you know, what we see on social media. It's not you plant the seed today, you get the fruit tomorrow. It is a process. And it took me a long time to really realize that, because when I quit my job making this salary, I literally was like, okay, Lord, I quit. I need my salary today. Like, make it happen. And God was like, no. We got to go through a process.
Yeah.
It's a process. It's a process,
Yeah.
but a very enjoyable process along the way.
Yeah, that is amazing. And I definitely commend anyone who is able to say, like, I don't see this around me, but I'm going to create it.
Right.
And I think that for so many of us, especially in the Black community, we don't get to see a lot of examples of business owners like that are in close proximity to us.
Absolutely.
We see it on TV, or we may see it, in magazines and stuff, but we don't see that around us. Like,
yeah, in our immediate family, sometimes we're the first of our generation, or first in our family that's experiencing these type of things. I will say I'm the first in my family to be an entrepreneur. I'm the first one in my immediate family to go to college to get degrees, but I'm not using them. So a lot of things that I'm doing is the first timer. So I'm learning from, like you said, people on TV and reading books, but I'm still trying to make it work and tailor it for me so that I can pass it along to generations behind me.
Yeah, that's awesome. We need more of that, for real.
Absolutely.
So tell me more about your business in particular.
So my business is Jazz Beauty Bar. I started 3 years ago. We've had some transition over the years, but I think where I am right now is where I'm going to kind of stay for the most part. But Jazz Beauty Bar is a beauty franchise. We specialize in creating custom wigs for the everyday woman. Not only wigs, which is our most notable product and service, but I do offer salon services, educational courses, and I provide hair care products. So right now I'm in the process of curating hair care products, all natural, in my home.
Wow.
Yes.
Y'all, I hope y'all listening. That is amazing. Like, honestly, I have locks, but I have been looking for like more natural products that, I can just grab and go, like whatever. That's awesome. We
So,
definitely need more natural hair care products. I feel like
absolutely.
there's been more talk about it recently of like how, Black, hair care products have chemicals in it that cause cancer and cause like
Yes.
other, health, diseases. And it's just like,
Right. They're targeting more so our community than anything. And
yeah.
also, so with my hair care line right now, I only have one product, which is a 100% all natural hair oil. But I'm looking to add more products in the future. So that's kind of where I am right now. But I wanted to go back and just mention how I got into wearing wigs with my business on this platform. So as I mentioned, I've been in hair since 7th grade. But when I was in college, this is back when relaxers were the thing. I used to relax my hair and do sew-ins like religiously because, at the time it was like sleek edges, sleek leave out. And so as a result of that, I developed alopecia. And so that was my turning factor of, okay, I have to step away from sew-ins and I have to get into wigs. So I've actually been making wigs for 8 years, but I didn't turn it into a business until 3 years ago.
Gotcha.
Because at the time, people were reluctant to the word wigs. Nobody was like, when you think of the word wigs, you were like, that's for a grandmother, or,
right.
or someone who doesn't have hair. But 3 years ago, when I started to see the need of the natural movement becoming more heavy and people not knowing what to do with their two different textures and how to still work out, but I need a way to maintain my hair. It was like, you can turn this into a business. And so that's where Jazz Beauty Bar was birthed out of that, that need for women to still want to have a professional look, even if they want to switch it up from their locks to their short hair, but maybe on date night, they want to have long hair. So that's where my business was birthed, from my personal experience and making sure that I'm catering to women's need. Women want to feel beautiful. You want to have different looks. I like being a different person every day. So I think women do too.
Yeah, definitely. I'm with that. And I think, I don't know if it's the Gemini in me or what, but I like
maybe. Geminis have 2 different personalities. I'm dating a Gemini right now, and I'm just like, goodness Lord, what did you do to these people? They're all, you guys are not bad. I was
bad. We're not bad. But I totally, like, wholeheartedly agree with that. Like, I feel like even with locks, like, it is a commitment because, whatever. But
because once you start, it's like,
you
kind of got to keep going, or you're gonna. It's only, you got to get to it. You can't. I think with dress, because I don't do dress, but I think at a certain point you can't really reverse the locks. So it's like when you start, you got to keep going, or you cut it off and start over.
Yeah, and I know I've seen a lot of people who do have them. When they decide to, either take them out or whatever, they will comb them out. And it's a process of like, it's like hours to like days. And I feel like after they do that, their hair is very damaged.
Yes.
You've like completely like destroyed the hair follicle. So yeah, no. I'm all for wigs. Like,
and see, that's the beauty of it. That's one thing that I say. I have a line on my website that says no commitment to one style. Literally, they're glueless. You can take them off. You can go to the gym and you can, do the same thing you would do to your natural hair, but there's no commitment. If I don't want to be a redhead today, tomorrow I can be blonde.
Right.
And there's still no damage to my natural hair. So there is there's beauty behind wearing a wig, and I'm trying to break the stigma that you don't have to be older, you don't have to have total hair loss. It's about confidence and being comfortable in your skin and how you look, because I believe when you look good, you feel good. And for me, when my hair is not done, it just throws everything off.
Yeah.
Everything. I don't care what is going on, but if my hair is not done, we're gonna start again tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm the same. I feel like if I'm anywhere and if my hair is not right, like we can't. We just
No.
we can't. We can't
Yeah,
do
like just take me back home.
right.
We'll try again.
But I love that, and I love the message that you're sending to women that, it doesn't have to be one style. Like, you can switch it up, and to be able to help empower women in that way I think that's a beautiful message to be sending.
Absolutely.
That's awesome.
Thank you.
And you have a location in Murfreesboro, right?
I do. I am working at the Pollard Salon and Spa in Murfreesboro. And if you're familiar with Murfreesboro, you know that there's only one Popeye's chicken. So we're actually located behind Popeye's. I say that all the time because I'm not from the area. So when people are like, where are you located? I'm like, behind Popeye's. So yeah, we're in Murfreesboro.
That's awesome. I haven't been to the Popeyes out there, but that's
it's when the chicken sandwich was out, girl, it was total chaos.
I bet. But if y'all over there, y'all might as well come on in.
That is true. That is a few stylists, because I work in a co-space. So my business is housed inside the Pollard. So it's not my building. I just work in there. So a few of the stylists did, take advantage of going over during that time and like, hey, while you wait, come get your hair done and stuff like that. So
that's smart.
Cross marketing.
So I know with COVID-19, like the stay-at-home mandate, like all of that, I know Popeyes isn't like, they not popping.
No.
So has that affected you in any way with all of this going on?
So I'm probably going to be very unique compared to all your other interviews. So when COVID became a thing in March, I was one of the ones like, y'all, we'll be back at work April 1st. Like, this is going to blow over quick. And then when we got the order that we had to shut down, it was like, okay, so this is serious. But for me, I've been trying to not operate out of fear. I'm just going to say that. So for me, COVID-19 has actually been a benefit. Although I'm not in the salon, although I'm not touching clients, I have had the most time on my hand to focus towards all of these projects that I have been thinking about doing, writing about doing, but I haven't had the time. If you know anything about the hair salon, it's just always movement, sun up to sundown for some stylists. And I used to be in the salon like, okay, I have so many heads. When I get off, I got to go make a wig, I got to do this. And it wasn't enough time in the day. And I would always, say like, Lord, I want to do this, I want to do that. Well, for me, COVID has made the time. Like, God is like, you have nothing but time. You said you want to do all these things. So with my business, I have seen the most sales in 1 month that I've ever seen. This April 2020 compared to 2019 April, my sales have increased 1,000%. Wow. So that's why I was like, I probably am a little bit different than anyone else that you had on the podcast. And I was just mind blown. It was mind blowing. I was like, Lord, what? It's been good for me. I'm not even gonna lie. I've been able to create a schedule. Every day I wake up, I pray, I meditate, I say my affirmations, and I get to my daily tasks. So every day I'm making wigs. I'm shipping wigs out. And I think the spark we like to get our hair done.
Mm-hmm.
And so because you can't go to the salon, women are looking for alternatives. And so the beauty of the wig is whether you wear it now during quarantine and salons open back up, you still have that style for later on, years down the line. So I really can't pinpoint if sales are increasing because women are looking for alternative, or if they've always wanted to get a wig, and now that I can't really explain like where the spark in sales came from. I'm just gonna say it's all God. That's all I'm gonna say, because I truly believe that God he's just been providing. In the beginning of this thing, I was nervous, I will not lie, because my salon owner is still expecting us to pay rent. And so, it's like, well, where is rent money going to come from? I'm not in the salon, I'm not touching heads, but God has made a way. And so COVID it's definitely turned our world upside down. I think the governor has allowed the salons to open this past week or next week. So our procedures are going to change when we go back to the salon. So things are not going to be the same. But for me and my business, I'm actually moving back towards home base because I have had such a great run, and I think it's going to be beneficial for me. I'm not giving up the salon completely, but I won't be full-time in the salon anymore.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
No,
I'm sure you've had other people, like, it's just been a disaster, but Lord, by the grace of God, it has definitely been a good thing for me.
God really is showing out for you. That is
crazy.
He is. I think that the relationship that Black women have with our hair is so deep, like so deeply rooted.
Yes.
Like, regardless of how your hair is, like, you have a relationship to your hair.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that your increase in sales is probably a combination of all those things, but it's definitely all God.
Yeah.
Like, definitely all God. 1,000%. That is wild.
I ran my report and I was just like, Lord. And I would also say that I did shift my mindset through COVID, because, I'm sure you're on social media. So every day someone is either complaining about COVID or, just all these different negative thoughts and emotions around COVID. But I've personally been trying to protect my mind and my peace and say, I'm going to have faith through this thing. Like, eventually it's going to pass. I don't know when, but it will. But if I speak fear, if I think fear, I won't see a different thing. I won't see a brighter side in this. I have to shift my mindset and start to really get into my affirmations and to really get into the things that I deserve. And regardless of what pandemic we're going through, I still deserve to have success.
Right.
Whatever that looks like, according to God's will.
Yeah.
So, I will agree that it is a combination of a lot of different things, because we have, like, our hair is our pride. It's our crown. And, women will protect that at all costs.
Yeah.
We'll spend their last.
Seriously.
On their hair.
That's wild.
Yeah.
I'm so glad that for you, this has been, a way for God to show you, like, I'm still here.
Yes.
Like, I got you. Like, I'm so glad that, because I know for so many people, like, it's looked like so many different things,
Absolutely.
So that is awesome. And I'm glad that your business is thriving. Like,
thank you.
We need
Thank you.
But I just wanted to say that, like, with the relationship that we have with our hair, like, we need more people who are going to be there to empower us in moments like this,
Right.
Who are going to still be there and say, like, I know what it looks like, but I still got you.
Yes.
So that's amazing. That's amazing.
And there are a bunch of stylists that I follow on my social media that has shifted their mindset too. I don't know if you've seen it, but a lot of stylists all over the world giving out free classes, free hair tips, because they know the importance of what hair means to a Black woman.
Yeah.
And so instead of, using this time, like just allowing your clients to think, stylists are stepping up and say, okay, I can't physically be there, but let me walk you through a virtual consultation, give you these free virtual classes, because again, they understand the importance and the relationship that we have with our hair. Yeah. It's important.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So what tips would you give to other entrepreneurs who may not know really where to start, or are already like in it, and not necessarily during like COVID-19, but
just in general?
Yeah.
So what I would suggest, if you're thinking about entrepreneurship, because I'm a spiritual person, my first suggestion is going to be to talk to God, to see what vision He has for you, or what gift, what is your gift? And ask in prayer and asking God, how can you take your gift and make it abundant? I think that's important. We all have a gift, and we know that God blesses us differently. So what is your gift? What are you good at? What can you do in your sleep without much assistance? And you're going to have to take time to plan and strategize. You don't want to be that person that just jumps into entrepreneurship. That's what I did. Even though I had the skills of hair, I didn't have the business side of entrepreneurship. So definitely sitting down, thinking about your gift, planning, strategizing, and even if you can, start doing some reading some entrepreneur books. YouTube is my favorite thing right now with getting insight on entrepreneurship. There's a lot of YouTube videos out there. So that's if you want it, if you're interested in getting started. If you're already into the entrepreneur world and things maybe are not working in your favor, you may have to go back to the drawing board. I had to do that as well. Some of my systems and processes were not working. I used to look at other stylists and other wig makers like, why are they doing this and why can't I? And so I had to look at what were my systems doing at the time, what is my process, what can be done better, and really speaking what you want in your life. Affirmations are definitely powerful, and you have to watch what you say. If you're that entrepreneur that's like, I'll never succeed at this, that's what the universe is going to bring back to you. But other things, definitely getting the knowledge on the business side, that's where I still am growing and experiencing, because taxes is something that's out of my league, and just all of that jazz when it comes to financial statement. I couldn't tell you anything about it, but I'm positioning myself to learn about it. So you definitely have to get into your business, learn about it to the T, so that you can set yourself up for success.
Absolutely. I think all of those are really, really great. Those are all really, like, everyone needs to know those things. If you're interested in doing anything for yourself, especially the part about reading more and like taking in more knowledge, because we could be doing something for years, and like myself as a creative, like creating videos, doing all of this stuff for years, but there's still things that I need to learn. Like, I don't know everything. So
definitely don't stop learning. That's, I've learned that, you always have to, and it's just reinvent yourself, because times change. So I can't do what I was doing 3 years ago today.
Yeah.
You have to keep, especially as a creative, you have to keep reinventing yourself.
Yeah, for sure. That is super important. Thank you for that, because I think so often, like, we as entrepreneurs, like, we don't really sit down and like think like, okay, I need to level up. I need to level up. Like, it's not something consciously that we think about.
Right.
It's just kind of like, I know I need to do it. But that's
But
like,
a part of that is taking that time, is really being intentional about that quiet time.
yeah.
And I think that's what COVID has allowed me to do, is to have that intentional time to sit and think, like, what is working and what is not working.
Yeah.
And I will also say, trusting the process.
Mm-hmm.
It's a process in entrepreneurship. As I said in the beginning, you can't plant the seed today and expect fruit tomorrow. It is a process.
Yeah.
And you may not arrive to that point tomorrow. It may be 5 years. I mean, I'm 3 years in and I'm not there yet.
Yeah.
God gave me a vision years ago and I'm still not there. So it's a process.
For sure.
You have to get out your own way in your own mind.
Yeah. And I know, even for people that I know that have been in business for like 7 years and more, like they're just reaching like the tip of the iceberg. Like, you know, like it's just now becoming, you know.
Absolutely.
So often we just lose sight of the fact that like we're still working towards something, like we're not there yet. And everything that we're laying down now is just the foundation of what is to come. But definitely trusting the process is so important for everybody, really, in any whether it's, you know, personal growth or business growth. Like, just definitely trust the process. But I wanted to ask, what or where can we find you? Like, because I'm all for supporting a Black woman-owned business. So where can we find you on social media?
So my handles for Instagram is Jazz Beauty Bar. So that's JAZZ Beauty Bar. Facebook, it is JBB Wigs. My website is www.jbbwig.com. And then if you are local, I am in Murfreesboro. The salon is the Parlor Salon and Spa, and our address is 17 Memorial Boulevard, Suite 130.
Awesome. Y'all heard her. I just want to say again, thank you so much for sitting down and taking the time to share your tips, share your knowledge, give us a little bit more insight into your business, into your life, who you are. Is so appreciated, and just thank you for all
no problem. I definitely appreciate the opportunity. And before we got on, I was getting ready and I was like, well, Lord, thank you for this opportunity. And when I pray for opportunities, this is not what I expected, but I'm very thankful for you giving me the opportunity to talk about my business and giving me this, time to share. I definitely appreciate it. And this is my first podcast interview, so I'm really excited about it.
Oh, yay! Oh, I've been getting more and more like first-time podcaster interviews, and I'm like, this is great.
Thanks. I'm really grateful.
But I'm just so, like, it's just great to see how God is working, like, for you and your business. And I am excited to see where Jazz Beauty Bar is in the next 5 years, because I know that it's going to be really big.
Thank you. I received that.
But thank you so much.
No problem. Thank you.
All right. Thank you for tuning in to Black and White Spaces, where we give breath and space to the in-between. To keep up with us on the interwebs, follow us on IG at Black and White Spaces. That's Black, the letter N, White Spaces. Show us some love on our Facebook page, and if you're interested in sharing your unique journey, go to our website, blackandwhitespaces.com, and connect with us there. Until next time, peace.